We are live. Welcome, everybody. Rajiv ji is with us. He's U.S. immigration lawyer, and we do this every Wednesday. Uh, some people told me I never introduced myself. So my name is Yuri. I was an international student as well, and I've been working in the tech industry for last 8 years. And on this channel, we help international students, immigrants, but on this show, we try to answer any immigration questions you have. Before we get started, I know we're going to talk about travel. A lot of people are scared about this whole travel thing. There's news about green card holder and all of it. Before we get started, if you are an international student and you're looking for a job, we have ultimate job hunting community and course. Actually, can I play that video, Rajiv ji? Right. Let me ask you this. Do you have a clear job hunting strategy to get an internship or a full-time job? Most people don't, and it's costing them opportunities. I've helped over 1,100 students with their strategies through my ultimate job hunting course.
And trust me, I'm not even kidding. I could see so many recruiters viewing my profile.
And it's been the best investment I've ever made.
The content is incredibly practical, filled with tips and strategies that make you stand out to recruiters.
It was one of the best courses that I have done till date.
This course covers everything that you need to stand out. You will get ultimate resume course, you will get ultimate LinkedIn course, networking strategy, access to 1,100 plus job seekers for support, and personal support from me through WhatsApp group. I will walk you through every single step that you need with real examples and the tools that will give you an edge. I don't want you to miss any other opportunity to land your next job or an internship. If you're interested, check the link in the description, or you can simply go to link.udj.com/job hunting, or you can just scan this QR code and it will take you to the same destination. And now back to the session. All right.
Can I also add a couple of comments before we get started? You consider them disclaimers or consider them what you need to know. So first of all, what Yudi says, I'm not responsible for that. We have zero commitment to each other's opinions, other than the fact that we kind of like to hang out together. The same goes for him. He's not responsible for what I say. If I screw up, that is totally my own. And if he screws up or recommends somebody, that's totally his lookout. There is no attorney-client relationship unless we sign a contract with you. We as the law firm. And by the way, we are immigration.com if you are looking for us. So the information we give here is given based upon the information that you provide us. And I make my best surmise or my best summary of the situation. There's no guarantee what I'm saying is 100% accurate, because in immigration law, even the slightest thing can change all the patterns. So use carefully, at least use it for guidance more than a definitive answer. Okay. Other than that, also remember, I am not financially involved in the channel in any way. I don't get any money out of this. I just like talking to people. But Yudi does this for a living. So you have to support him if you like what he does, because he does all the work. I just show up looking beautiful. That's kind of my job. I put my face on and I show up, right? You can see how well I do. So please keep those things in mind. We are not responsible for each other's opinions. There is no attorney-client relationship. We are giving you the best possible information we can. We could be wrong. Double check everything. And above all, please support him. Back to you, Yuri.
All right. A lot of warnings about traveling to India, even though India is not in a travel ban list. People are wanting to stay in United States. What's your opinion? Plus, I've heard news, or I've seen in news or other people talking about even green card holders were detained, questioned, etc., etc. How safe is it for people to travel, even if they have green card green card? I'm going to be traveling to India, so now I'm scared.
No.
No.
See, let's separate the fact from the fiction. First of all, some things you have to remember. Customs and Border Protection at the airport or any port of entry has a lot of power. There are rights that you have within the United States. Despite Trump, you have rights within the United States that you do not have at the border. For example, the CBP officers can deny you entry without giving you any detailed reasons. And they usually do, but it's not required. They can give very basic reasons and you're out. They can bar you for 5 years, deny you entry. That's very easy for them to do. They can ban you forever if they catch you in a fraud. Okay, any misrepresentation to the government under oath or in immigration benefits can lead to permanent ban. So we are talking about an agency that has a lot of power at the border. Does that mean they are going to invoke it unreasonably? Why should they? People come to do jobs. I don't think they're out to get anyone unless there is a reason for them to doubt the veracity or the appropriateness of an entry. Okay, keep that in mind. Now the green card thing, the biggest problem with green cards has been this, and I've been saying this for 35 years. If you go back to my videos or my audios 35 years back, I've been saying it. Listen, if you get a green card in the United States, don't think if you come like 3 months in a year or 1 month in a year or 6 weeks in a year, you are maintaining your green card. You have a permanent home in the United States. Okay. What does that mean? So people will ask me, what does that mean? I said, it's like saying, what is the color of the sky without getting into all the scientific details? Whatever you see, right? So the home is like that. Where do you live? Is that a difficult question to answer? No. Not if you are actually living in the United States. If you are not living in the United States, then you get into all this fancy reasoning. You go, well, I have my bank account here. Oh, I have my credit cards here. Yes, I rent from my friend. So all these fancy answers only come in when you can't answer the simple question, do you, sir or madam, live in the United States? Okay. Simple is yes or no. If it is no, goodbye green card. That is within the rights of the government. Does that mean you can't apply again? Sure, you can apply again. But if you're an employment-based category person, it becomes far more complicated because the priority date is gone. You can't use that priority date. So far, that has been the instructions from the USCIS. Okay. What if you are family-based? Your children are US citizens. Your wife is a US citizen. No problem. They can apply again. As long as your case was not revoked for any kind of fraud. So if you try to be cute and you give them answers that you think they want, cute is very nice, but cute doesn't work in law. Okay. My advice to people is simple threefold advice. Number one, when you arrive at the border, this is for everyone. When you arrive at the border, always tell the truth. Don't try to make up things. Because if you tell the truth, usually the most they'll do is they'll just say, look, withdraw your request for admission. Because if we deny you entry, then you can't come back for 5 years. Okay. So if you feel that this is how you must do, for example, for students, I'll give you an example. If you were associated with a shady company, and one example is not realizing what you were doing, you bought into the company, you went in with them, next thing you realize they're asking you 200 for this, 400 for this, 500 for this. Anytime you start charging you money like that, be very careful. Get the hell out of there as quickly as possible. I would even go as far as to say that file a complaint against them, because that protects you also. File an ICE complaint. ICE is the best agency to follow through with, and keep a copy of the complaint. Now, so you are at the border, you always tell the truth. Second thing, you are within your rights to say, I don't know or I don't remember. If they ask you a question, I don't know what I had for breakfast yesterday. I can't remember. There are so many things going. Most of us can't. Okay. We have to kind of think, I don't know. That's how it is.
Yeah.
That's okay to say, I don't know or I don't remember. And the third thing is, never answer a question or sign a paper that you don't understand. Okay. So if you are asked a question and you don't understand it, it is within your rights to ask, I'm sorry, what do you mean? Always be polite. Be polite is just a generally good rule. I think even when we are upset with people, it's nice to be polite. Kindness does not exclude adverse relations. I mean, I can be your biggest enemy and yet be kind and be polite. We're just doing our jobs, right? So be polite. And if you feel that you're being treated unfairly, just say, look, I'm sorry. I need to talk with your supervisor. That's also your right. Okay. Is it your right to call a lawyer? No. Usually, they'll allow students to call their DSOs. I don't know any DSO who will be available off hours. So try to organize with your school, if you have any doubts, that you come during office hours of the DSO. Okay. Normally, so you arrived, you've told them the truth, you've said, I don't know, I don't remember, and you have asked for clarifications. For green card people, sometimes they'll say, oh, we are doubtful that your green card should be taken away. Ask politely that I would rather be taken before an immigration judge. You can take my green card, but produce me before an immigration judge. What that means is they will let you come in. And that is the usual approach. If there is a green card issue, they'll let you come in, they'll lift your green card, and they'll say you'll be hearing from an immigration judge. And that takes a year to 2 years or whatever time, depending upon the local, how busy the courts are. And during that time, you can stay in the United States, and you can even ask for work authorization because you have a green card. It's not been taken away. You just need proof, right? So, and the work authorization typically comes in the form of an added stamp. I believe that's the procedure to follow. The point is, you don't have to give up your green card without knowing more about what they're asking you to do. And you can say, look, I would rather go before an immigration judge. Okay. Now, there are consequences to going before an immigration judge. Then you're stuck in USA until you go to a hearing, and maybe you don't have a case. If you're only coming for the last 9 years, you are coming 3 days in a year or 3 weeks in a year or even 3 months in a year, and the rest of the time you're living in India. This is the biggest problem. Every case that you examine has this issue. So I have a good friend who was a professor in a local college here. She called me. She was very concerned. Her mother was coming in after 9 months, but she does live here. 94 years old. She's not very expressive. So we had a conversation, and I explained this same things that I'm telling you guys. They were very kind to her. She came in, and once they found out that she actually lives here, and this time when she went to India, she got stuck for some reasons. Just bring proof of those reasons. Okay. So now, general rules for everyone: tell the truth. I don't know, I don't remember. And always, always, always ask for clarifications if you're not clear. Don't sign anything you don't understand. Okay. Now, every category then has its own problems, unique problems. In students, what if I am a student who is not yet on OPT? What if I'm on OPT? What if I'm on STEM OPT? What if I am on a CPT? What if I'm on H1B? What I'm on H4? So each one of these has separate compartmentalized problems. But the basic issue is, for students at least, you should be able to demonstrate that you have maintained your status all the way through. Transcripts, work authorizations, W-2s, or proof that you worked, proof of employment when you come in, proof of ongoing employment. Remember, during OPT, can you work outside the US? It's questionable. There is no clear answer to this. Can you work within the US remotely? Yes, you can. OPT and STEM OPT. That's what the government has said. CPT is another problem area, because if you look at CPT, it's there in the books. If it's there in the books, why can't I use it? Okay. What if the government says, why are you using CPT? And if the truth is, look, I need the work authorization, I would say it. I can't recommend this to everyone, but I would say it. But the way I would say it is, look, and if this is the truth, don't just make up things. For many people, this is the truth. And I've advised people, do CPTs only if they advance your career. Don't go into a totally different field just to get work authorization. In any case, you're not going to be able to get CPT for an unrelated field. CPT is always for a related field, right? So I think it's a legitimate answer to say that, look, I am getting a degree and I'm working, but working was important for me. Okay. So if they say, what was more important, the degree or the EAD? I think I'll have to answer, because if I'm answering truthfully, I would have to answer, yes, I'm using EAD. That's what I need. But I'm also going to school. And that's all you should be concerned about, because it's in the books. So CPT people have a more difficult problem.
Yeah.
Okay. H1, very, very important. Are you authorized to work where you're working? This is a very common problem. What happened, and this I see all the time. Our corporate employers who are extremely meticulous about maintaining compliance with the regulations will come to us and they'll say, well, the employee moved without letting us know because the work is being done remotely. We have no way of knowing where they're working. They have voice over IP telephones. They could be anywhere in the world and we wouldn't know. Now they have moved from Denver, Colorado to Arizona. What do we do here? Well, they are out of status. Can we put them back into status? Sure, it's very easy to do that. But it is a violation. And if you are caught doing that, they will create a big issue for you.
So CBP officers know all this? Because again, another thing that is coming out is social media scrutiny as well.
Yeah, I'll come to that. So that's a Trump 2.0 invention. So let's go back a step and say, do CBP officers have all this information? No, but can they get much of this information? Yeah, within 4 or 5 hours, they can get much of this information. They can make phone calls. They have some of this information online because it's the Department of Homeland Security. A lot of the data is shared. Okay. But they can ask you, where are you working? And you say, I'm working in Arizona. Well, do you have your H1B papers? Which is advisable. Carry as many papers as you can. Scan them and put them on your cloud. Okay. And when I look at the LC, I say, wait a minute, you are approved for Denver. What are you doing in Arizona? Denied. Or better, please withdraw your application for admission. Contact your lawyers. So your lawyers will tell you, oh yeah, please get out. Let's do an amendment. Then you come back. Okay. Now, they can also cancel your visa. If you have a visa stamp, they can cancel it. And if they cancel it without prejudice, that simply means you can apply again. Okay. So this was H1. L1 is the same thing. L1 typically has fewer problems. The derivatives, I have a derivative family coming in. They were concerned. No issue. H4, L2, these are easy cases. Usually there should not be a problem. Okay. For green card, we talked about what the main issues are. Employment-based green cards, usually no problems. Now, duration of the travel is also important.
Duration is in the time you're outside United States.
Yeah. So I have, I've been talking to 1 or 2 clients every day about, oh, this is our situation. And my calls are beginning at 7 and ending at 1 o'clock. I just do phone calls every 15 minutes. Okay. They are concerned and I can understand that. And sometimes it just helps to talk to somebody who's old and knows a thing or two, sometimes it just helps, right?
Yeah.
So I've been telling them, look, if you are going for less than 6 months, let's say you're just going for 4 weeks. Is that okay? Sure. You're a green card holder. 4 weeks vacation is very normal. Okay. If you're going to go to India or Bangladesh or Nepal or Europe, anywhere where you live, if you're going to go for that long, of course, you're going to spend money. You want to spend as much time as you can. When you go for, let's say, 3 months, usually there's no issue. Why? Because when a green card holder is coming back within 6 months, they are not treated as somebody who's seeking entrance. They are returning. So there are technical terms for those. But suffice it to say that the degree of scrutiny or somebody who's been out for 6 months or more, or is it more than 6 months, one of the two, or is it 180 days? I don't remember exact language of it, but just keep it well below 6 months and you should be okay if you can explain. So for example, if you're gone for 5 months and 29 days, okay, and the government says, listen, dude, what were you doing out there? Here is a typical example, and this is This is a case that was today before me. So the guy went for a visa stamping, got stuck there. It took them that long to issue a visa. And while he was there, he was working and he was getting paid, which is perfectly legal. Company asked me, Rajiv, should we pay him in India through our India company, or should we, it's a multinational, should we pay him in USA? So no, pay him in USA like a normal H1B employee. There is no law that says he can't be paid like that. And it's easier to establish a continuity of relationship, which is not required, but it's desired. Okay. So H1B people or green card people, anybody who's going for a long time, anywhere over a month or so, which is reasonable. Maybe they have a medical reason. Maybe somebody in the family is sick. Carry evidence of that. Two people I've talked to today, dad has cancer, one dad has stroke. And they've been gone. One was a green card holder. The other one, I think, is an H1. So I've spent almost 50% of my time talking to people with these issues. And so far, I've not found even one issue where I'm concerned that it's going to be a problem. Okay. CPTs, I'm saying, be careful. Okay.
Yeah.
And on top of that, if you have to go get a visa stamping, be doubly careful. I do know CPT visas being denied many times. I haven't heard from anyone who got it successfully, but I know at least one person who did. But, that's just it's not a formal survey. I'm just telling you anecdotally how it is.
Yeah.
Some of everything that we talked about, just remember the bottom lines I told you about. If there is any irregularity in your status, anything that you're concerned about, talk to a lawyer, talk to your company lawyers. I'm pretty backed up. I've got at least a week's time for consultations. I won't be able to talk to people. If we start today, I think they're doing right now they're doing, I think next week, end of next week appointments for me. So we are pretty busy right now, but there are other lawyers in the firm that you can talk to if you're okay with that. So what I would recommend is talk to your own lawyers because they have your case. It's easy for them to give you a holistic picture. Overall, keep your travel, optional travel to the minimum. If you are just going to go gallivant in India. If you're going to Bahamas, is that a big deal? I don't think so. As long as you meet all these requirements that we talked about. If you're going to go to Bahamas for 8 months, I think we should talk. Okay. First, I want to be your friend. And second, I want to make sure you're going to be able to make it in, right? Normal travel. And another friend of mine, I got a WhatsApp from him saying, hey, bro, I'm going to go to California for 3 days. I said, so? Why are you calling me?
Yeah, domestic travel is fine.
You are within the United States, yeah.
Yeah.
He's on H1B, so he's a little concerned about that.
Okay. And before we get to social media, I think there are a couple of people who similar travel question. Making sure my OPT expires on 12th May 2025. I'll be traveling to India in December 2025 and come back to US in January 2026. Should I have gone through the visa interview process at the consulate?
Sayanji, look at your visa stamp. So OPT expiration has nothing to do with your visa stamp on your passport. To enter the US, you definitely need a visa stamp, which is valid on the date of the entry. Okay. And if you are at the end of your OPT, you better have a way of proving that you are going to apply for STEM OPT. Because how do you extend? You're coming in the very last month. The government would want to know what's going on. This kind of travel is kind of bungee jumping. I'm a little hesitant to say, oh, you're going to go through without any problem. Chances are you'll be okay, especially if your entire career trajectory is straightforward. Went from one good school to another good school, did well in school, didn't do any DUIs, didn't party too much. A little bit of partying is okay. As long as you're career oriented, it's quite clear. And you don't have a face like mine because I always used to get pulled over.
What about students who, for some reason, did off-campus illegal stuff?
And they should
be careful.
I think they should not be in that situation.
Yeah,
it's easy for me to say because I didn't have to. I don't know what anybody's circumstances are. But as a lawyer and as a community member and as a US citizen, I would want the system to work. I don't want the system to be taken advantage of. People should obey the laws.
Yeah. Okay. Social media. You said Trump 2.0.
Yeah, that is a part of Trump 2.0. So in January itself, he wrote an executive order saying everybody should be deeply vetted. Okay. So somebody was telling me today, they did a consultation with me, husband, wife, local. I guess I did their green card 25 years ago. So they must be really old people. And we talked. And he said, well, Rajiv ji, you did my green card 25. So do you remember me? I said, most days I can barely remember my own name. But the face did look familiar. So when we talked, they were concerned that they were going to go for 3 weeks. One of their issues was, well, look, I had a bankruptcy. Is that going to be a problem? So why? Bankruptcy is a civil thing. It's your right. You're protecting yourself. It's only when you have taken government funds or if you have any fraud against the government allegations. If you have civil lawsuits, I said, well, you have how many civil lawsuits? 1. I said, Trump has 11,000. Okay. If he can be the president and have 11,000 lawsuits, including criminal convictions, why can't you have a bankruptcy and 1 civil lawsuit? That's not a problem. If you owe IRS money, even that by itself is not a problem as long as you're resolving the situation. Okay. Did I get the question? Was that what was being asked?
Yeah, and there's going to be a lot more scrutiny on social media of what you say.
Going back to social media. So that's where it started, because they were like, oh, they're going to scrutinize my social media and there's bankruptcy information out there. Because when my wife Googled me, she saw that there was bankruptcy. So what? That's not an issue. Now, social media problem, what has happened is that normally one thinks about, I have the right to express myself. If I'm on the side of Palestinians or I am on the side of Jewish brethren, can somebody hold me for that? As long as I am acting peacefully, I'm not inciting violence, inciting terrorism. Why should that be a problem? I have the right to my opinion. Because these are very sad situations, no matter which way you look at it. Government says, oh, no, you are a terrorist. And why do they say that? Because there is a clause in the Immigration and Nationality Act, which says when the Secretary of the State, which is Marco Rubio, whom Trump used to call Little Marco, okay, or Little Rubio. Now he's the Secretary of State. Anyhow, Marco Rubio has declared that any person who is a threat to the diplomatic relations or foreign relations of the United States, I don't remember the exact wordings, can be expelled, even if they are a green card holder. Okay. And there's a proclamation and there's a tie-in and they can just basically try to kick people out. My problem was that they have no due process. And I think even that is under challenge. Now, from that came all this idea that we can deeply vet social opinions, political opinions. And the problem, Yudi, is not so much that are they right or wrong. The problem is they are powerful. At the border, because in your social media, if somebody looked at my social media, they would probably take away my green card if I had one. Because I think Trump is a schmuck, and I've said that many times. Okay. Most politicians are problematic, but some are absolutely abhorrent, can't be tolerated. But this country liked them, so we live with it. So this kind of an opinion can lead you from not getting an entry into the United States, which is silly. And ultimately, I think courts will overturn it. I think it's already being litigated. So social media, if you have something in your social media, of course, if you advocate jihad, I don't want to see you in this country anyway. And jihad, I don't mean jihad by the Quranic sense of jihad, but jihad in the sense of kill people and destroy things and hurt people, that kind of jihad.
What about students who are on F1 visa or OPT or H1B?
They're going home. They're going home.
Do you
They've
know what
got
I
two
was
people
asking?
already in there. One was a green card holder in New York. What was his name?
नहीं
The
नहीं
guy.
नहीं मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि if they are on these statuses, they started doing social media as a content creation, whatever, like educating audience, or maybe someone was doing dancing, etc., and then realized that they can make money, and they started making money, taking money.
Yeah, that's a violation of status, right? So they can be turned back on that. But these are still, depending upon the officer who looks at that situation, these are relatively minor issues. As opposed to somebody who says, here is a way to make bomb, go get this, go get that, make a pipe bomb, and then you put it, I don't know, wherever. So as opposed to that other extreme, the fact that you are teaching somebody hip hop or Bharatanatyam, what is the big deal, right? It is a violation of status. And your visa can be taken away. You can even be barred from entering the US forever if you lie about it. If you tell the truth, yes, I did it, they can't bar you forever. They can only say, okay, barred for 5 years. Or if they are kinder, they can say, withdraw your application for admission. I'm canceling your visa. You can still come on H1B. A visa that doesn't have, because status violation, remember this, guys, status violation by itself is not a big problem unless the status violation is because of a serious issue, such as lying about it. Okay. So I have an example. So many years ago, we had a Filipino doctor who was working in a hospital system, huge hospital system, thousands of doctors. And they'd been violating the law, not knowing that they were violating the law. So when I saw his paperwork, I said, how come you are an H1B holder and you are being paid as an independent contractor? You're on a 1099. And you have been on a 1099 for 2 years. That's a violation of the law. Of course, doctors are not necessarily the most worldly wise people. They are busy with their books. And they take a lot of time to become a doctor. Okay.
Yeah.
So now the next thing is their general counsel is calling me. They are yelling at me. And I said, whoa, don't shoot the messenger, guys. If you have screwed up, admit it and fix it. It's not a big problem, but it is a problem. And I'm not the one who created it. You did. So when this guy said, fine, I'm sick and tired of my lawyers, tell me what do I do? I said, this is what you do. You go back to Philippines. And when you fill out the DS 160, there'll be 2 questions there. In those days, there used to be 2 questions. Have you ever been unlawfully present? The answer is no. Unlawful presence for most people begins when the I-94 expires. Okay. 2, have you ever violated status? Yes. How did you violate your status? For 2 years, I was paid on a 1099. The violation was an omission rather than intentional. Okay. 2 lines, 10 words. He went for the interview. He got his visa, no questions asked, came back. The point is, status violation can always be cured by visa stamping or go outside and come back in. Sort of like for students, there is a reinstatement. When you fall out of status, you can just take a new I-20, go outside, come back with the existing visa and the new I-20. See how quickly that gets taken care of.
Yeah.
That is what any violation of status can be cured fairly easily. But if you lie about it, it can be a big problem.
Okay. Okay, cool. Let's, I know there are a bunch of people waiting for questions, so we will get to them. Guys, I know there are like 500 plus questions now. We will not get to it today, but we are also meeting tomorrow.
Tomorrow also, yeah.
So if we don't get to it today, we will get it tomorrow. All right, here we go. Laid off, currently on H1B with 40 days left in grace period. Can I switch to B2? If I still don't find a job by the end of B2, can I change it to F1? I already have a US master's degree. Can I pursue another master's?
So the answer to all your questions is yes. Okay. If you are connected with me on LinkedIn, just drop me a message. I will send you my write-up on how to apply for the B1, B2 without a lawyer. I don't think a lawyer is needed. Okay.
Okay. Sayan does say my H1B is a non-profit organization university should
तो
be
फिर क्या problem है?
yeah, and
Then
he's
there is no issue, Sayanji.
and
But
he said my Mm,
one thing though, if you have traveled outside the US with a status change pending, then your status change is gone. Okay. So if I have applied for F1 to H1B conversion, change of status, and I travel out, my change of status is gone. So just talk to your lawyers about that. That's a separate issue. But if you have proof that they have filed for your H1B, that should be simply straightforward then.
okay.
And it would be even better if you entered with an H1B visa and H1B. That would be the cleanest thing.
Yeah. All right. I'm on L1B visa working at a client side. If I switch location inside US, should USCIS be notified? And who is responsible, employer or employee?
Mathura Ambika. Mathura Ambika ji, I think we've talked to her before.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, Mathura Ambika ji, it's always the employer's responsibility, not yours. Okay. For L1s, the rules are a little different than H1Bs. For L1s, and please double check this with your lawyers. I would just email them. You don't have to inform the government when you change locations. Okay. But typically, if I remember correctly, if I find that you are changing clients or changing your terms of engagement, I file an L1B amendment. Simply because I'm concerned that the government can say, well, when we approved your case, we looked at the contract between your client and you, and now that contract has changed. So we want to look at it again. So general rule, you don't need it, but sometimes you may. So talk to your lawyers.
And in this case, maybe it's not switching the client, but the location. I don't know.
If he's working under the same project in a different location, that's not an issue.
Okay. Is there any risk for parents traveling to USA on a visitor visa? What additional documents should they bring with them?
What can they bring? I mean, there's really nothing to bring as long as, if they have been coming too frequently. Okay. So let's say my parents came and stayed for 6 months. Then I got them an extension for 6 months. Then they left. 10 days later, they are back again. Government usually doesn't like it when you spend more than 6 months or 6 months or more in the US in any 12-month period. So that means if they are gone now, let them come back after a good 6 months, not earlier than that.
But first time visit should be fine.
No issue.
Yeah.
But he didn't say first time though.
No, yeah, that was my question. Yeah. Okay. Alicia, stuck abroad in admin process for F1 OPT, working remotely. F1 OPT expires 6/16. Law advised to stop work, travel as a tourist, P1 till 4/3, change status back to F1, get stamp OPT. Do you recommend?
Never recommend that. Why? Because when you land with a B1, B2, they'll ask you, why are you coming? You say, I'm coming for looking at the Grand Canyon. That's a lie. You have a preconceived intention to change status. That can be counted as fraud. And fraud is a permanent bar from entering the US forever and ever and ever. Misrepresentation and fraud. Okay? Don't do that.
Okay.
Better to do H1B if you can.
I think it's the same question, just asked differently.
Yeah. Same lady too. I saw that.
Yeah. Okay. I'm doing job under STEM OPT in my uncle's company. He's showing me as an IT manager with 50,000 salary. Now planning to apply green card through my wife. Will there be a problem while applying for green card?
So first of all, there are some things I don't like when anybody starts talking to me on paper, showing me. These are signs that things are not what they are being portrayed as. So please be careful with that. What you show on paper and what you are doing should be the same thing. So if they are showing you as an IT manager, you should be working as an IT manager. Okay? Now, if you get married to a US citizen, all these problems go away. Okay. But if your wife is herself a green card holder, there are still issues. So what you do, Mr. Syed, is talk to your lawyers and see if you need to go outside the United States and wait for the green card in your home country, or should you be applying for change of status, adjustment of status within the United States. A lot of problems can be avoided by making the right choices.
Okay. I am master's graduate student graduating by April 2025. I lost my Indian passport and US visa, applied for a new passport under review. No job confirmed yet. Got EAD starting June 17. Explain me what to do.
Well, if you can't get a job, there's not much I can tell you. Um, Obviously, if you can't get a job, you have two options: leave the United States or convert to a program or a studies program, educational program that helps your career if that's what you want to do. Last time we had a big recession, a lot of students went back to school after working on H1B. That's a good time to go to school.
Okay. Authik is asking, do you expect any delays for H1B stamping if I'm going for second H1B stamping with EB2 national interest waiver approved, I-140, same company, same role?
So, Bhatikji, I can't anticipate what the visa wait times will be. But just because your NIW is approved creates no problem for your H1B stamping.
Okay. I got admit from good university like Columbia, Michigan, and Ann Arbor. Okay. Is it good time to come to US for masters in computer science? What is the probability of getting H1B after OPT looking at present dynamics?
So I can answer the question about H1B. That's simple enough. So if you go through the lottery or you get a cap exempt job, it's no more difficult than it was yesterday. But as to ability to find a job, maybe UD can talk about that.
It's brutal right now. Market is brutal, but it again depends on your strategy, how much work experience do you have, what role you are getting into, what industry you are getting into. I mean, supply chain is good, but everyone wants to become data analyst, so that's really brutal. So it's hard to give you answer without knowing a lot of context. Okay. How common is it to get an RFE on OPT? My program is expiring on 15th May. Should I apply for premium processing? I'm trying for EAD with a start date of July 14.
Yeah, premium processing. RFEs are not uncommon. RFEs are not uncommon in any situation. I do maybe one or two consultations on F1 RFEs every day.
Okay. My I-94 with new passport was not updated when I traveled while on STEM OPD. Instead, my old passport was. Now I'm on H1B. My new passport doesn't show info on I-94 site. I'm about to go for stamping.
So I would take a printout because you still have your old passport and the passport number. You should be able to take a printout of your old I-94. And if you are not able to do that, go talk to a local CBP office. If you just Google CBP offices and talk to them first, they'll give you the hours that they work. And most of them, listed offices, will have I-94 related answers for you. And if there's a minor issue, technical issue, they can resolve it right there.
Okay. Wanted to know, does a lower ranking university impacts our visa approval chances comparing CSU with UMCP?
I'm not so sure that just because it's lower ranking, it's a big problem. But if it's a suspect university, a targeted university, like many, many years ago was Tri-Valley University, which was responsible for a lot of shady activity. They had, from what I understand, they had a very small campus with like maybe just a building, and they had 8,000 students, something like that. So that didn't make sense to the government, and that became a big racket. So just because a university has a lower ranking does not by itself reduce your chances of an F1. That's just common sense.
Yeah. Okay. I'm an F1 student here with my wife. Can I register my 4-month-old baby on modeling websites, and would it affect my future status like EB2, national interest, O1, etc.?
I'm assuming the baby is already a US citizen.
Yeah.
Okay, because it's 4-month-old probably born here, right? It's an interesting question. I can't work, but can my US citizen baby work? I don't know the answer to that question. One way to find out how you might be treated would be to check with the IRS how that income is treated. I mean, do they expect a 4-month-old baby to file a tax return? I don't know. I don't know how the tax laws of the country work. Or is that income attributed to you? So once you've talked to IRS, and they do answer questions, talk to IRS, come back and tell me what they say.
And if it is attributed to him, then that could be an issue.
I mean, he's not working technically, is he?
Yeah.
It's the baby who's working. So I don't know what the answer is. I don't think anybody knows the answer.
Interesting. Okay. Can an H1B visa dependent child on H4 apply for EAD at 16?
So I think EAD age, so there are two issues here. One is the minimum working age for a child. EAD can be applied for pretty much anyone who is legal to work. Whether the age is 14, 15, or 16, I don't remember that. But can they do it? I think it's worth looking into it. I think they can.
Can you file for an H1B extension as soon as your I-140 is approved, or do we need to wait for a few months?
There is no need to wait.
Yeah. Okay. Why, with current administration, is there any risk while re-entering US if my I-20 is expired, program completed, OPT approved, EAD in hand, job offer signed, but not started? Specifically, do I need pay slips?
Adipji, that is the ideal situation. Having pay slips in hand. At least get a letter from the university, from the employer that says they have a job for you. When you get a letter from the employer, you want to have in the letter, you want to describe the job so that it's clear that's a job in your major. You want to describe the salary, and you want to describe the hours worked. These are the three minimum requirements. For example, it can say he'll be working as a data scientist, creating data streams, doing this, doing that, data analytics, and he will be paid X $1,000 a year, and he's expected to work 40 hours each week.
Okay.
And maybe even an introduction of the company. What does the company do?
Yeah. Okay. I'm on STEM OPT. I still have 1 year, 2 months left, and I have approved EB1A I-140. By any chance, can I go to O1 visa and go for stamping? Will I be in trouble? I heard O1 is not dual intent.
So about 11 years ago, I had a fight with the State Department on this issue. Is O1 dual intent? And the answer is O1. See, some visas have been defined by Congress to be dual intent. So you can file a green card. But some visas have not been defined by Congress to be dual intent, what is called statutory. Okay. However, O1 for all practical purposes is treated as a dual intent visa. Okay. So if you go to the State Department Foreign Affairs Manual, Standard Operating Procedures, it says so in the SOP.
Okay. I am on initial OPT visa. Can I do 2 full-time jobs, 80 hours per week?
How would you do 80 hours per week? Oh, you mean 40-40 or 80-80?
Yeah, I'm assuming 40-40.
Yeah, I hope you're saying 40-40. So if you can physically do that, okay. First of all, on OPT, you can do multiple jobs, 2, 3, 4, 5 jobs. But for some silly reason, each one must be at least 20 hours. I can kind of understand the reason. It's like, you know how we used to, in the old days, in the classical physics, we used to have orbital jumps. Each orbital jump can only be accommodated after a certain number of energy quanta are reached. It's the same in quantum mechanics also, that there is a quantum of energy needed. So it's the same thing. The packet or the quantum is at least 20 hours. How many quantums you can absorb or how many jobs you can do depends on how many 20 hours you can do. So if you can physically do 80 hours, just make sure you're not doing 70 with one and 10 with the other. That could be a violation. But if you're doing 60 with one, 20 with other, fine. 40, 40, fine. Minimum 20 for each job. As many jobs as you can do.
Yeah.
But you got to talk to your DSO. Make sure your service gets updated.
Okay. I am master student graduating April 2025. I think we answered this. Lost my passport and visa, applied for a new one, under review, no job yet. People say I must go to India.
The other one was an I-94 that was lost. Or we couldn't trace it. So MS student graduating April, lost passport and visa, applied for a new one, no job yet. People say I must go to India. No, that's not true. That's not true. As long as you have an I-94 that is valid and it says DS, duration of status, you should be okay. You need to go for a visa stamping only if you travel outside the US. However, I'm hoping that you did file a police complaint. Yeah. If you filed a police complaint showing the loss of passport, fact that you entered, your I-94 shows that you entered, I think you should be okay. I don't see any reason to go for visa stamping.
Okay. F1 program ended May 15th. Requested EAD started 14th July.
I already answered. Premium processing, RFEs are common.
Yeah. RFEs are common. Yeah. Okay. Cool. My friend used all 6 years of H1B, no green card file, then switched to H4 after marriage. Can she start a fresh H1B now, or does the previous 6-year limit still apply?
Now, H1B clock can only be reset if you're outside USA for 1 year.
I didn't know that. Yeah. Any risk of H1B working in-house project?
That's my pet peeve. So a lot of companies think, well, you know what? We'll say that there is a in-house project, get the H1B approved, and then market the resume, and when we get a job, we'll just transfer the H1B or amend the H1B. I would never do a case like that. When they come to me with that, I said, wait, are you 100% sure there is an in-house project? Because if you make it up, you can go to prison. I'm not going to go to prison. You will. Okay. And I've seen cases like this where I have appeared as an expert witness because they were doing all these hanky-panky, the companies were, and people did time. Okay. So when I have an in-house case, my first question is, what is the project? How did you conceive this project? Did you do a market study on the project? How many man hours are anticipated for the project? What stage of the project are you at? Have you done systems analysis? Are you doing screens? Are you doing data design? Are you doing modeling, data modeling? What stage are you at? How many people are working on it? Can you show me some of your incomplete work? Okay. More people get into trouble with these in-house projects than any other problem.
Okay. My F1 expires in April 2026.
One last word on in-house projects. But if it's a genuine project, then there is no problem.
Okay. My F1 expires in April 2026 and it needs renewal as I'm entering 5th year of my PhD. Should I go to India for visa renewal in certain currency?
So Abhishek ji, I do have a favorite example of an unfortunate young woman who asked me the same question. And this was not during Trump time, in all honesty. This was a good 15, 16 years back. And she asked me, should I go for visa stamping? Very good student, excellent school. And it was her 5th year of PhD. And she thought it might take another 2 years to finish. So I said, no, I don't like this. Never know what's going to happen over there. I said, just do yourself one favor. Make sure that you have a plan in case you're denied. She was denied. The girl was from Rajasthan, I still remember. And I think she was a PhD geology, and she was doing some work in Rajasthan. So luckily, she was able to collect her samples and her data and do a lot of work while she was in India. I don't know exactly how she got her PhD, but she did get her a PhD. I think she came back on H1B, and then she finished her thesis and finished her defense. So, although it's a ridiculous example, even if it's a 1% chance, I just don't like taking those chances.
Okay.
Oh, one more thing. A lot of people think that my visa is expiring, I have to renew it. That's not true. When you are inside the US, it's your status that is determinative, not your visa stamping. What is your status? You have an I-94 that says DS, duration of status, and you have been pursuing your coursework. Even if you change programs, you have been following all the rules, your service is active, no period in which you're out of status. You don't need a visa stamp. You could be here 10 more years without getting a visa.
A little more clarification. Is it common that I-94 with a passport that had visa gets updated and not the new passport?
I don't know. I am just applying common sense, because when you go online, this is the first time today I went to get an I-94 for somebody. They were in India, and also an F1 student who got a really nasty denial. We are doing an MTR for him. He got a really nasty denial saying you've committed fraud, this and that. And I don't think he's committed fraud. So when I asked him what is I-94, does it say DS? So he didn't know. So I said, let me go online and find it. So I entered a passport number. I guess when the passport number changes, unless the information has been updated, how would they correlate the two passports, right? So the I-94 is tied to a passport number. So I don't know how they update them. I don't have that granular information, that level of information. But one thing is obvious, you should be able to retrieve your I-94 with the old passport, right?
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I lost. There was one big question, but I will come back to it. My work is related to my course of study in my uncle company.
Good.
Under SAM OPT with a salary of 50,000 as an IT manager. My wife is a green card holder. She already applied I-130. Will my salary versus job make or create an issue?
One thing, Mr. Syed, I wish we could talk to people. Wouldn't it be so much simpler? My work is related to my course of study. But are you working on OPT, or under what authorization are you working? Okay. So if you were working on first year OPT, no issue with the salary. If you are working on STEM OPT, there could be an issue with the salary. If you're on H1B, which he's not, maybe he is. If you're on H1B, does the salary meet the requirements, the prevailing wage requirements? If it does not, then you are out of status. Then to get your green card, you'll have to go back to your home country. So there are variables here that we don't know. If you are on first year OPT, I don't see any issue. But if you're on STEM OPT or H1B, this could be a problem.
Okay. Got married last March, applied I-130 in April 2024. Still no update. How much more time should I expect? Perhaps is faster for my wife visit me through visit visa until I-130 is approved.
Yeah, I don't know the time. They publish the times online, whatever they are worth. So you can look it up. They publish the times. Can your wife visit on a tourist visa? She can try, but it's almost a toss of a coin. Sometimes you get the visa, sometimes you don't. If she already has a visa, I'm very hesitant to say that come without disclosing that you're coming to visit your husband. So I would say, if you are in India, process your wife's entry through Abu Dhabi. If you are in Europe, do it through Dublin airport, because you know right there whether you can get in or not. And be honest. Tell them that I'm just going to go visit my husband.
Okay. RFE on initial OPT, went to day one CPT for first master.
Okay.
As for addresses, how to tackle and how to respond to it. Do I need an attorney's help with this? What are the chances of approval? If anything goes wrong, what are my options?
So this is what I think you are saying. You were on day one CPT and the government wants to know, did you attend school? Show us the addresses where you lived. So if you did not attend school, you have a big problem because you are in violation of status. And then you are not entitled to OPT. Okay. Responding to the government, lying about it, or just walking away could all be options with problems. So at the very least, get your case evaluated by a lawyer. Make sure they look at your case and give you advice on what to do and what not to do. Okay. The case that I was doing today about fraud, government said it was fraud by omission. You didn't tell us that you had not done XYZ. And I'm like, that is not required by law. You are quoting the wrong regulation. Okay. So you should have your lawyers take a look at it and see what you should do. Whether you need a lawyer should also be told by the lawyer. And I hope most lawyers will tell you honestly, look, I don't think I can do anything for you.
Yeah. I'm master student on F1. I'm planning to travel to India for 80 days for the summer. Is it safe to travel? I'm not on OPT or CPT. I'm still a student.
So
Just
Mahesh,
like a summer break.
If you have no social media issues, you've not been working without authorization, and you've been doing okay in school, most people should not have a problem.
Okay. I applied for OPT in November, approved in December, but want to extend graduation to May 2025. USCIS won't let me withdraw OPT, suggest reapplying. I haven't used EAD, have campus assistantship. Can I safely reapply for OPT without risking status?
You can't reapply. Once OPT has been given, it's an irreversible process. I don't know of any way you can do that.
Oh.
Once OPT has been given, it's irreversible. Use it or lose it.
Even so, now in his case, if he wants to extend the graduation, what happens to the OPT?
So there is actually, I ran into this situation a while back, and I don't remember exactly what I had done. But the DSOs have a standard operating procedure on these cases. I think what they tell you is that you continue working and you finish your coursework, whatever you're doing. Because it happens sometimes. Somebody failed the course. Okay, one course she failed. So then what did we do? I think we either treated that as unemployment time, or I had a conversation with their DSO and I don't remember exactly what we had decided, but there is a solution, Viratji. You can talk with your DSO, see what they recommend. And of course, you're welcome to come back here and bounce it by me. If I remember, if you tell me what the DSO is saying, I can verify whether I did the same thing or not. I don't remember exactly what I did, but there was a solution.
Okay. All right, guys, last two questions, and we will be back tomorrow at 12:30 Eastern time.
Yeah, Eastern time, exactly.
Okay. So no longer super chat because I won't be able to take your question. Okay, here we go. I am an Indian citizen on H1B. If I get citizenship of another country through my spouse, I would have to give up my Indian passport. What happens to the visa? Also, how is the cross chargeability reputed?
So the easy one first. Cross chargeability is by the country of birth, not by country of citizenship. Okay. So when your 485 is filed, your lawyers will make sure that you get charged to your wife's country. What happens to your visa? So again, we've dealt with this situation before, and I don't exactly remember exactly what we did. The cleanest thing is to get a visa on the new passport. Okay. The other thing is, and I was talking to somebody who got Canadian citizenship early this week, and what he told me was that what happens is when I surrender my passport, my Indian passport, they give me back my passport. It's not like they take it away. They just give a certificate of cancellation, something like that. So that means you have that passport with the visa stamp, and then you have the new citizenship. I think the two together should work. But the cleanest thing is to just go get a visa stamp. Now, if you want a more perfect answer, contact the CBP, and they do respond. because ultimately it's the CBP who's checking your passports. It might be in their frequently asked questions also. cbp.gov, Customs and Border Protection, CBP.
Okay. Can I work from UAE, Dubai if company is okay? If I have a remote role and will be on OPT or on H1B, and for how long? Dubai is tax-free. Will I face any immigration-related issue to enter back anytime?
So you can't have the two things live together. If you want to work on H1B, your taxes have to be deducted. Okay. And is there a limit on how long you can work from Dubai? No. But your taxes will have to be deducted. Now, if you want no taxes, then get an H1B, get it activated, work a few pay periods here, then surrender your H1B and go to Dubai and work as a contractor. Because then you still have your H1B, it's not going anywhere. When you need it, you just reactivate it.
Interesting. Okay. All right. Last question. I'm on H1B visa in United States. My parents and sister have a tourist visa appointment in April 2025. How can I strengthen my sister's case? Can you share a support letter sample for them?
I don't think they really care about your letters. Okay. Everything depends upon the interview. And I'm not sure, Panjwani Saab, that you can do anything for her. It all depends upon how well she presents and what the mood of the visa officer is.
Yeah. I mean, I did my parents' visa, tourist visa last year. Did not have any support letter for them.
Yeah, never. No, but in 35 years of my practice, I've never written a support letter for a B1, B2 because they don't work.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Rajiv. We will talk tomorrow. Thanks, everyone. We will see you tomorrow, 9:30 California time, 12:30.
Take care, guys. Hang in there. It's all going to be okay.
Also, we were looking at Arlington, Virginia, because we have been talking about moving out of California, and it's so expensive. Oh my gosh. We're like, oh, it'll be nice to be around Arlington, and like, nope, no, we can't afford it.
You know what you can do? It's not necessary to just look for. So all of Northern Virginia is pretty expensive.
But Arlington is also like ranked like top city, safest city, and all of that. It's
very expensive. Oh, safe city, I don't know. You should go with a walk for me at 4 o'clock in the morning. Every day is an
4 o'clock to kaun sa safety milega?
Every day is an adventure.
Okay.
Actually, I was seriously thinking I should wear my gun.
Oh boy. All right. Thank you, everyone. Rahul, you just sent super chat. I have no idea what you want. I don't see your question. Oh, there it is. Is it safe to travel to India at the end of April if my first year OPT ends on July 10th? I'm eligible for STEM extension and I'm working full time.
Pandeyji, it's too close to the edge. So send him that.
The travel chart?
The travel chart.
Okay.
I'm a little uncomfortable with that. Just too close to the edge.
Even though
May, June, July, na 3 mahine. May, June, July,
yeah. So rather than wait, get the extension and then.
That's what I would do.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. Chalo, we'll talk soon. Bye, everyone.
Take care, guys.